Well, we already know what it means when she's asking for an open marriage. You say no, and she all of a sudden, okay, no, don't divorce me. Let's go to counseling. No, we're getting a divorce, and you didn't even know that she was cheating at the time. See, guys, you don't have to know. You don't have to have evidence. Yeah, evidence, honestly, is her asking for the open relationship. That means she's cheated, she wants to cheat, or she's going to cheat. It's not. It's always the case. I'm gonna throw it out there. It's always the case.
Subject: She asked for an open marriage, so I gave her a ticket out. Hey, true story. First off, I just want to say thank you for creating a space for men like me to share their stories. I've been a subscriber of your channel for about 2 years now, and the stories you read have gotten me through some dark times. I never thought I'd be writing in myself, but here I am, celebrating my recent divorce from my now ex wife, Paris. That's right. I'm not sad. I'm not broken. I'm celebrating. Because what I went through with this woman, man, it was like waking up from a nightmare I didn't even realize I was living in. Let me take you back to the moment everything changed. It was a regular Tuesday evening. Paris had just gotten home from work. She's a dental assistant, always dressed neat with her hair tied back and that fake little smile she used to give to her patients, still plastered on her face when she walked through our front door. She kissed me on the cheek and said, "We need to talk." My gut sank. You know that feeling when you already know something's off? Yeah, that. We sat down at the kitchen table. She had that rehearsed look, like she'd practiced this whole speech in the mirror. Here's how that conversation went. Paris: So, I've been doing a lot of thinking about our marriage, and I think it's time we evolve. Me: Evolve? What are you talking about? Paris: I've been reading and listening to podcasts, and I just think maybe we should consider opening up our marriage. Me: You want to sleep with other people? Just say it. Paris: No, it's not just about sex. It's about experiences, emotional growth, exploring. Me: Cut the crap, Paris. You want new meat. Paris: I just think it could help us. Some couples come back stronger. Me: And what if I say no? Paris: Then I guess, I don't know, we'd need to figure something out. Me: I've already figured it out. I want a divorce. Paris: Curtis, no. Come on. Don't throw this away over one conversation. Me: No, Paris. You threw it away the second you thought sharing me with other men, or sharing yourself with them, was a good idea. And that was that. I walked out, took a drive to clear my head, but I already knew. There was no coming back from that. I don't do open marriages. I don't do sharing. I was her husband, not some roommate she could check in with between dates. Now, let me give you some context. Paris and I met in college. I was a junior, she was a freshman. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party. She was cute, sweet, and kind of shy. I liked that about her. We started talking that night, and it was easy, natural. I felt like I could breathe around her, and I think that's what got me. We dated for a couple years, then got married after she finished her dental program. We had good years, at least I thought they were good. I was working full time in IT, and she had started her job at the clinic. We lived in a decent townhouse. We didn't have kids, but we talked about it. We had Sunday brunches, Netflix nights, the whole happily ever after vibe. Looking back now, I can see the signs. The phone always face down. The sudden increase in girls' nights. The gym obsession, except she never lost any weight. Just got new workout outfits and always came back with her hair freshly done. Yeah, should have known. So after she dropped the open marriage bomb, she went into panic mode. She started apologizing, saying she didn't mean to hurt me, that she just wanted to spice things up. I could see the gears turning in her head, trying to do damage control, but I had made up my mind. And this is where it gets funny. I decided to have a little fun before finalizing anything. I told her I'd consider not divorcing her if she completed 4 tasks. Mind you, I already knew I was done. but part of me wanted to see just how far she'd go to save a marriage she tried to destroy. Here were the 4 tasks. Delete every single male contact from her phone who wasn't family. Friends, coworkers, old classmates, gone. I watched her do it while I sat on the couch. Post a video on her social media accounts stating she made a mistake by bringing up an open marriage and that I, her husband, was enough for her. She hesitated on this one. I told her if she didn't, the conversation was over. She did it. Hand over all her passwords, phone, Facebook, Instagram, email. No privacy. I told her if she wants my trust, she'll have to give up the secrecy. She gave them up. Passwords changed and handed over. Go to individual therapy and couples therapy, both scheduled by me, not her, and attend every single session without canceling. She nodded like a little kid in trouble and said, "Okay." And wouldn't you know it, she did all 4, like clockwork. It was almost sad watching her scramble like that. But then came the twist. I told her, "Thanks for proving you can follow orders, but we're still getting divorced." She broke down, screamed, said I was evil. Then came the theatrics. She said she didn't want to live without me. Said she'd hurt herself if I left her. I didn't take that lightly. I stayed calm, told her I'd call her sister and let her know what she'd said. Paris quickly backtracked and said she was just emotional. That night, I packed a few bags and went to stay at my brother's place. I needed space and clarity, but what happened next made everything even worse. While I was there, I started going through an old tablet we had shared. Paris hadn't used it in months, maybe years. I figured I'd reset it, but before I did, I noticed it was still logged into her old Facebook account. Curiosity got me. I opened the messages. Man, what I saw made me sick. She had been talking to multiple guys, some old coworkers, some dudes she'd met at the gym. One guy was a personal trainer who'd been sending her shirtless pics. Another was a married guy she used to babysit for. There were dates planned, hotel receipts, flirty texts, sexting. She'd been cheating long before she ever brought up an open marriage. That was just her way of trying to make her infidelity legit. I screenshotted everything. My lawyer told me to stay calm and gather evidence. We prepped for court. Paris, on the other hand, started playing dirty. She told people I was emotionally abusive, that I had trust issues, that I never let her have friends. She even claimed I made her delete her social media accounts because I was controlling. But I came prepared. I had timestamps. I had her public apology video. I had text confirmations from her agreeing to therapy and thanking me for giving her another chance. I had messages showing her cheating and her being the one who brought up opening our marriage. Court day came, and she tried to cry her way through it. Claimed I was abandoning her after she made one mistake. The judge wasn't buying it. My lawyer laid out every piece of evidence like a Netflix documentary. We got the divorce. I kept my car, my savings, and she walked away with the basic settlement. No alimony, no chance of reconciliation. I'm writing you this email now while sipping whiskey with my best friend on my balcony, laughing about the madness of the last year. I dodged a bullet. Paris wasn't looking for love. She was looking for options. And when she realized I wasn't going to be option B, she folded. If you give me the green light, I'll write back with part 2. I'll go into the court drama, the way her family tried to guilt trip me, and how I found out one of the dudes she was messing with was her boss. Yeah, the same boss who wrote her a letter of character for court. You can't make this stuff up. Thanks again for reading. If my story helps even one man realize his worth and not settle for disrespect, it's worth it. Curtis. P.S. The only open thing in my life now is my schedule, and it's looking full with peace, purpose, and no Paris. Subject, part 2. My ex-wife Paris took the stand and buried herself. Hey, true story. Curtis here again. Thanks for replying to my first email. You gave me the green light. So let's rewind to the day after I officially filed for divorce. I already had the screenshots from the Facebook messages, plus the video she posted admitting she was wrong for suggesting an open marriage. I had everything in a secure folder ready to go. My lawyer, Mr. Hammond, is one of those cool, calm, and surgical types. Never raises his voice, but he slices people apart in the courtroom with nothing but facts. When I showed him the evidence, he smirked and said, "She picked the wrong husband to play with." That gave me all the confidence I needed. Meanwhile, Paris was unraveling. She started calling my family, crying to my mom and sister, saying things like, "Curtis is making a huge mistake, and he's letting anger get in the way of our love." My mom didn't entertain her for long. She told Paris, "You made your bed, now lay in it." My sister, on the other hand, was cold. She straight up said, "I never liked you anyway." Now here's where it gets spicy. Paris had a few people fooled. Some of her friends believed her sob story. One even posted a vague status on Facebook saying, "Ladies, don't let your man gaslight you into silence." I chuckled and replied, "You mean like suggesting an open marriage after cheating with your boss?" That status disappeared real quick. Let's talk about her boss. Yep, Mr. Johnson, a married man in his late 40s who owns the dental clinic where Paris worked. Turns out he was one of the main men in those messages I found. And it wasn't just flirting, they had hotel receipts. He'd sent her money through Cash App under dumb labels like consulting and training bonus. Training what exactly? When I confronted Paris about it through text, she tried to lie, said it was professional. I said, "Then I'm sure your HR department won't mind me forwarding these screenshots." Radio silence after that. Now, I wasn't trying to be vindictive. I just wanted to protect myself. I wasn't about to let her lie her way into court and make me the villain. Court day came. I was dressed like I was heading to church. Navy blue suit, tie knotted tight, and a folder full of receipts. Paris walked in wearing a beige dress, looking like she hadn't slept. Her lawyer looked young, like a fresh grad hoping to win his first big case. Good luck, buddy. Her strategy was clearly to paint me as controlling and paranoid. They leaned hard into the fact that I asked her to delete her contacts, hand over passwords, and post the apology video. They said it was emotional manipulation. When I took the stand, I kept it simple. I explained the open marriage conversation. I shared her exact words. Then I read a few quotes from her messages with other men. My lawyer even had a printed list of dates and times where she was out late under false pretenses. Everything lined up, but the moment that shut the whole thing down, Mr. Hammond pulled out a flash drive and played the video Paris posted, her own voice saying, "I messed up. I asked for an open marriage and hurt my husband." You could see her lawyer deflate. Then Mr. Hammond said, "Your Honor, not only did my client forgive her enough to give her 4 chances to prove she was serious about the marriage, but she still went behind his back during that time and continued contact with at least 3 other men, including her employer." Paris tried to jump up and object like this was a courtroom on TV. The judge shut it down fast. We were granted divorce on grounds of infidelity. The prenup, thank God for that, protected my savings. She tried to push for alimony, but the judge wasn't having it. The only thing she got was her car and half the furniture she picked out. Now here's where the petty part of me came alive. Remember those 4 tasks I gave her? I made sure the judge knew about them. Not because I wanted to rub it in, but because it painted the full picture. I had gone above and beyond trying to see if there was something left to save. She had every chance. She failed. After court, her mom came up to me. This woman had always looked down on me, said I wasn't ambitious enough, that Paris could have married a doctor, but that day, she looked like she had chewed on a lemon. She said, "I hope you feel good destroying a woman like this." I said, "No, ma'am. She destroyed herself. I just handed her the mirror. Now let's talk about the aftermath. A week after the divorce was finalized, I started getting anonymous messages. Burner accounts on Instagram saying things like, "You're heartless," and "She loved you." I wasn't stupid. It was Paris. I blocked every one. She also tried to reach out through her cousin, saying she wanted closure. I told her cousin to tell Paris that closure is for relationships with honest effort, not ones where you're out here cheating while asking for threesomes. I later found out she got fired from her job, not because I reported anything, but because Mr. Johnson's wife found out and raised hell. I guess someone, definitely not me, slipped the messages to her anonymously. All I know is Paris was out of a job, out of a husband, and out of options. As for me, I started hitting the gym again, not for revenge, for me. I'd gained about 15 pounds over the last year, mostly from stress eating and drinking soda like it was water. But now, I've dropped 10 of those pounds, started waking up early, hitting 5 a.m. workouts, and rediscovering what peace feels like. I picked up old hobbies too, started working on my car again, joined a local photography group, even booked a solo trip to Colorado, something I'd always wanted to do, but Paris said, "It's too expensive for something so selfish." Selfish? Nah. Taking care of your peace is never selfish. To all the men out there who might be dealing with a woman like Paris, listen to me carefully. When she shows you who she is, believe her the first time. Don't negotiate with someone who sees your love as a burden. And if she ever asks to open the marriage, that relationship is already closed. I'll wrap this up with one last story. About 2 weeks ago, I was at the grocery store, just trying to grab some pasta and sauce for dinner. I turned the corner, and guess who I saw? Yep, Paris. Hair in a messy bun. Sweatpants, dark circles under her eyes. She was pushing a cart with nothing in it but a frozen dinner and a bottle of wine. She saw me, froze, then tried to smile. I just nodded and kept walking. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel pity. I felt free. So that's the end of my story, true story. Thanks again for giving men like me a platform. You helped me stand taller than I ever have. If you read this one, I hope it helps some guy out there realize he's not crazy. He's just finally seeing clearly. Life after Paris. You ever wake up and realize there's no weight on your chest anymore? That was me the morning after the divorce was finalized. I took off work that whole week, booked a solo Airbnb out in the woods, brought a journal, some whiskey, and the biggest Bluetooth speaker I could find. I spent my days hiking, blasting music, and my nights writing things down that I had never given myself permission to feel before. For the first time in years, I didn't owe anyone an explanation. No more walking on eggshells. No more wondering if I was boring or not evolved enough for a woman who thought sleeping around would bring her clarity. No more gaslighting me into thinking my love was a cage. I was free. I went no contact with Paris right after court. Blocked on everything. Emails filtered. Mutual friends? I gave them fair warning. If you mention her, you're getting benched too. I made myself a promise. If she reaches out again, I won't engage. Not even a little. Of course, that promise was tested just 2 weeks later. The driveway incident. It was a Saturday. I was in the garage working on an old motorcycle I'd picked up from a buddy who moved to Colorado. I had music playing, some old school Nas, and I was mid-sip on my beer when I heard a car pull into my driveway. Didn't even have to look. I knew that engine, her black Audi, her slow, hesitant park, her dumb habit of not turning off the engine even after she got out. She knocked. I didn't move. She knocked again. Finally, I opened the garage door and just stared at her. Didn't say a word. She said, "Hey, I know I shouldn't be here. I just wanted to talk." I said, "You're right. You shouldn't be here." She looked like hell, not gonna lie. Her makeup was smeared like she had either been crying in the car or hadn't slept. Hair messy, shirt wrinkled, her eyes empty. That same look I remember seeing on her face the day she said she wanted an open marriage, but now stripped of all arrogance. I just wanted to say I'm sorry, she mumbled. Not to win you back, just because you didn't deserve that. You never did. I nodded. You're right, I didn't. Then I closed the garage door in her face. I didn't yell. I didn't slam anything. I didn't even get mad. I just let the door close. And I swear, it felt like that was the moment I finally healed. The Facebook message. A few days after the driveway stunt, I got a message request on Facebook from her sister, Bree. Bree had always been neutral, never got involved, but always looked uncomfortable around Paris's modern marriage ideas. Her message said, Curtis, I hope you're okay. Paris told me she stopped by. She's been struggling. I don't know all the details, but I know she messed up. If you ever want to talk or get closure, just know she's not the same. I didn't reply. I didn't even open it officially. I just read it in the preview and deleted it. Because here's the truth. I already got my closure. The moment I realized that no matter what anyone says, love should never feel like a debate team. It should feel like peace. Getting back out there. Now, I won't lie to you. I waited a good while before I dipped my toes back in the dating pool. Honestly, the water looked toxic from where I stood. I was suspicious of everything. The filtered photos, the vague entrepreneur bios, the open to E&M tags on every other profile. It felt like everyone was trying to be edgy, mysterious, or too cool to actually build anything real. But I wasn't bitter, just cautious. Eventually, I matched with someone named Tia. She was kind, direct, and refreshing. On our first date, I told her flat out, look, I just got divorced. My ex asked for an open marriage. I said no. So if you're into that stuff, I'm not your guy. She smiled and said, no worries. I believe in loyalty. We dated for about a month. Good vibes, honest convos, no red flags. But you know what? I ended it. Not because she did anything wrong. She was great. I just realized that right now, I'm good solo. I like sleeping in the middle of the bed. I like having peace in my home. I like knowing that every minute of my day is mine. Dating will always be there, but peace? Peace is precious. Paris's last play. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from an unknown number. Usually, I don't pick those up, but curiosity got the best of me. Hello? Curtis? I didn't say anything. It's Paris. She was crying. I could tell she was somewhere public. There were voices in the background. She said, I just wanted you to know that I miss you. I hate who I became. I hate what I did to us. I think about you every day. Silence. Then she said the line that almost got me. I finally realized that you were my safe place. I almost said something. I really did. But then I remembered everything. The lies, the manipulation, the tasks she humiliated herself to complete just so I'd maybe stay. And the moment she tried to weaponize her mental health when I said no. I said, take care of yourself, and hung up. I blocked the number right after. Final thoughts for now. To any man out there who's reading this or listening to it being read, do not settle for a woman who wants to try something that you're not comfortable with. Don't let the world gaslight you into thinking you're insecure or small-minded for wanting loyalty. Love is not a TED Talk. Love is not a podcast debate. Love is not a lifestyle experiment. It's a choice, a commitment. If your partner wants something else, let them go get it. But don't you dare compromise what you believe just to keep someone around who's already 1 foot out the door. I gave Paris a chance to do right. She failed that test over and over. So now, I'm building a life so full of peace that chaos can't find the doorbell. I don't hate her. I'm not angry anymore. I just don't care. And that's what healing feels like. Thanks again. True story. For giving guys like me a voice. You helped me process all of this just by existing. Keep doing what you do, because trust me, there are millions of us out here who needed to hear it. Signed, Curtis.